now enjoys an almost heavy presence of women in certain sectors. The question has moved from, are there women on this table, to why not more women on these tables? While I'm just a young media professional, today I want to get into the minds of top professionals in various sectors of corporate to understand what it's like, the realities of building a career in Nigeria. I'm Tomike Adeoye, your host, and this is Why Women Roundtable Conversation for International Women's Month, powered by Knorr. It's time for our power conversations over soup, and who best to have power conversations more than powerful women? I'm surrounded by powerful women. I mean, this is one of those episodes where you just respect yourself and look into the camera and do your job, because these are your seniors and I really cannot wait to learn from them. So I want to put my hands together for the powerful women seated on this table. Thank you for coming. And I have to tell you who they are so that you would increase the volume of your TV station, because you do not want to miss this. Sitting right on my right is Ansatu Adegbite, Executive Director, Winbiz. We should clap. I mean, those positions, it didn't take one day to get those positions, so it deserves a round of applause. And of course, next is Oluchi Okafor, MD Multimix Academy. And to my left, I have Wala Joseph, Chief Legal, Eco Electricity Distribution, PLC. And of course, we have Josephine Ziba Isiakwona, co-founder the Quiver School. Welcome. Thank you for honoring our invitations. Are you ready to have power conversations over soup?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. This is powered by Knorr, and we have our Chef Emeka. Chef Emeka, are you ready for us?
Yes,
always.
Always ready.
Hi, Chef Emeka.
Welcome,
This
Chef.
episode, I made some chicken soup, some old chicken soup. Obviously, naturally tasty ingredients.
Very nice.
Yes.
I've done a little cheat with Knorr. You can just go straight to making the stock using Knorr cubes and some hot water. So I've done that. We have some sweet corn in there. We have some peas, some spring onions, and some parsley. So I know you will enjoy this one.
Smells amazing.
Thank you. Yes, and it
Thank you
looks
very
so
much.
perfect. I don't even want to.
Thank you.
Of course we can.
Okay.
We can't have the conversation without the soup. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
5 people cannot be lying with home. So, that food was at the same time, so you know that it's really yummy. Thank you, Chef Emeka.
Very tasty.
I'm trying to swallow it.
It's really nice.
And so I like to always start from the bottom. I mean, growing up, let's start from there before we dive into how we got to where we are today and how things are going with where the positions that we're occupying today. So, I mean, back then it was like there was this blueprint where we give birth to you, when you start walking, you start learning, you go to school. I mean, you have dreams. That's when it's, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. It was like there was a blueprint of how everything was going to work out. And we all just saw ourselves at the top back then in our minds, because we just assumed that that was how the process was going to go. But obviously, reality set in, and not everybody's at the top. But was this how it was for you? I mean, did this blueprint work? Like, you went to school, after school you graduated, you started working, and then now you're occupying big positions that you're occupying today.
I wish. Honestly, I must say that I wish. I had a very interesting upbringing. I was raised by my mom. My dad died when I was 5. So being raised by a woman, she's still working till today.
Wow.
It was, she's 72. She's still working, yes. So she has her own business. She's always had her own thing.
Wow.
It was nothing new to me to see a woman working so hard. I mean, it was something I was used to. I grew up seeing that. She would go to work every day. So yes, there's this blueprint for every person, not just women, for men as well. And they expect that you either read law, or you do medicine, or you do finance or banking or something and all that. So, but of course, it didn't work that way. I mean, you grow up in the world and you find out that it's a little more complicated than we had expected or we had thought it would be. So it didn't necessarily work out that way for so many reasons.
Do we agree with that? Do you agree with that? What was the experience like?
No, I had a similar thing. I also grew up with a single mother. Anytime I look back, I think sometimes for everything I do, I always want to validate her investment in my life. So she was very big on education, and she was a very hardworking woman. She worked in the corporate space, mainly in the airline industry, but she was very, very impactful in my life. So most of my work ethics come from her.
Mine is very tricky because I was actually on that straight path to becoming what I always dreamt of being. I actually wanted to be you. That was the plan. I was going to be in broadcasting. I had gone to training schools for it. I'd done everything I was supposed to do. I studied mass communication. I did everything, and it was already like trending there. And then I was working on the back end of some reality TV show, and then all of a sudden I got an offer to come work at a multinational as a graduate trainee, which is, again, that's usually the process. Yeah. You do the graduate trainee thing, then you rise up the corporate ladder. So at that point in time, I found my dreams changing. And not just because I wanted them to change, but because I was also like, are you silly? You want to go and do broadcasting work? How much will they pay you? How are you going to have a successful life? And it was very important to me that I had a successful life, whatever that was going to look like. I was raised by both parents. Both are still alive. Strangely enough, I am now managing the business that my father founded 25 years ago.
Wow.
So, but it was very full circle for me. So when I got into that corporate world, everything pretty much changed. So what happened for me is that I just decided that, fine, there's this company that your father has founded, and I'm sure he would want you to handle it. But I just said, I told him, I want you to see my CV later in the future and hire me because of me, not because I'm your daughter.
Yeah.
Because I felt that that is what will give me the respect of the team that I would eventually end up managing.
For me, I think I knew what I wanted to be when I was a kid. I wanted to be a teacher and a farmer. It was always going to be either of those two or both. But yes, it did happen. Society happened to me through family. Oh, why would we spend so much money on you and then you want to be a farmer? And my parents, they're Urobo, but they were raised in Lagos and in Ibadan. So they had all those Yoruba theatrics like Agbe, you know. So obviously it changed. And then I was on a path to study accounting, but I rebelled because my dad was a chartered accountant and he wanted me to take over his company and all of that. But I rebelled and decided to go do something else. In the midst of doing something else, project management found me, and I was like, okay, I could have all of the worlds that I want. I could be a teacher, I could be anything. I could be in tech, I could be in finance, you know, so it was interesting. But on that journey, somehow, I found a public school, and that's when the love for education came back. So after working on the project in the public school, I began to do pro bono teaching work there. And say 2 years into the pro bono work I was doing, I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Wow. Oftentimes you make some sacrifices. I know a lot of women that have lost their children or marriages because they're trying to build a career. So the standard thing you find out there is we're trying to build a career, you have to make a sacrifice which you don't find that men have to make. I mean, men come to work and their wives are home taking care of the children. That is the stereotype we have in Nigeria today. So that is, I would say that's the major challenge I had. I had to rely a lot on domestic staff. I had to rely a lot on a very strong support system, not just domestic staff or my family, you know, in rising in my career. So I would say mostly the biggest challenge for me personally and the biggest issue I experienced, I mean, a lot of people experience different things, was just balancing all of that with, and then with school. Right now I'm running an MBA with NCED, and balancing school with work, with the kids. It's always been a lot. So
the structure in general, the Nigerian structure, would you say is fair to women?
Sometimes it's actually not even the organizations. You will not go to any company's handbook and see pregnant women not allowed. It's not something that happens. What usually happens is that the biases of the people in the organization might start to show through. So, for instance, I haven't worked in any organization that has particularly discriminated against me as a woman, but I have had bosses who have, in their behavior, in their speaking to me, in their language, discriminated against me as a woman. So sometimes it's really not about the organization, because the thing is, when you're hiring people, you're hiring them with their beliefs, their upbringing, their stance on societal issues. So what organizations might need to do is to not tolerate it. Because that's the thing, there's a culture of silence when it comes to anything that has to do with gender bias. We're all very quiet about it. I was discussing with a couple of friends, and we went to a restaurant that was, last weekend, that was luckily doing some kind of, there's a pay gap, obviously, that we're all aware of. And they were saying, okay, so because there's a pay gap, so every woman who comes to this restaurant this weekend will pay less. So there was a discount for every woman. And then we had a conversation with the restaurant owners and all. And it came through because two of them were in corporate, and they were saying that they had found out that they were earning way less than their colleagues who were male. Wow. So while we're saying that these things don't happen, they do happen.
They do happen.
And it's about, why is it happening? Are you paying me less because I just happen to be a woman? Or are you paying me less because I am doing less work?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So there's personal biases of the staff who is in the organization, and then the organization also cannot unconsciously make such decisions just because of gender.
All right, thank you. We'll hold off on that talk. We'll go on a very quick break. I'm sure you're ready to dive in. I will be right back.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too. Paradise is waiting for us, so take my hand. You and me in la la land.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
Over the last 4 weeks, it was very important for me to make naturally tasty meals for the ladies. It was very important to pick things that were balanced, things that were tasty, and things that were achievable in the time frame. So, of course, I chose fresh ingredients. I chose ingredients that didn't have to be cooked for a very long time. I chose ingredients that were readily sourced, local ingredients that we could find in every market, everywhere, that weren't necessarily imported, and things that were very fast and easy to make. So I think the first week I started off with making a carrot soup. I mean, carrots are everywhere. And then, you know, I made a tomato soup, I think on the third week or so. So these are just readily available ingredients that are found in the market. But one of the things that was amazing was that Knorr helped me to make, you know, shortcuts in making these things into quick meals in the time frame that we're giving. So they say you are what you eat. They also say you should eat a variety of colors. And the reason why you eat a variety of colors is because then you get a variety of nutrients. So it was very important when I was coming up with these meals that we shopped for a variety of things, and I made sure I made sure that we weren't repeating a lot of ingredients in a lot of the meals. It's very important for everyone to be able to eat variety. First of all, it means that you won't get bored with your food. But apart from not being bored with your food, it means that you also get a lot of nutrients from different sources, from greens, from reds, from yellows, from blues, you know, just to make it interesting to your eyes first and then to your palate, because variety of colors also means that there's a variety of tastes guaranteed as well. So the average Nigerian family can eat good very easily. I do not take for granted the fact that a lot of the Nigerian population lives on less than $1 a day. So I'm not going to be naive and just, you know, give a blanket answer to this. But however, there are a lot of things that we can get locally. And I would say that one of the ways to eat a balanced meal as a Nigerian family is to cook even one ingredient in several different types of ways. So for instance, you can cook beans in several different types of ways. It would be counterbalance to eat amala for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner.
It will be counterbalanced to eat beans for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's always good to, change it up, do something different, even if you have the same ingredients all the time. So Knorr was amazing in over the last 4 weeks. One of the things that it helped me to do was cut down the stock making time. As a chef who's really true to the craft, I really love to make my stocks from scratch. So this means getting bones, boiling them down in the kitchen, extracting the stock, sieving out, sometimes skimming through the stock to make sure that I get a pure stock. With Knorr, I could just go straight right to it. Melt it in a bit of hot water in a little jar, whisk it up, and then use it for my soups. I use it in my soups. I use Knorr to marinate my chicken. I use it to marinate prawns. I use it in so many applications throughout the 4 weeks. It cut cooking time down, sometimes by half, sometimes by 3/4. So Knorr really, really helped me through the shoots. We had a short time frame to deliver every single set, and it was amazing. Knorr was amazing for this 4 weeks. So thumbs up to Knorr. It's been brilliant, it's been amazing, and we look forward to more things. And I've been Chef Emeka. I've enjoyed the journey. So thank you very much.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too. Paradise is waiting for us, so take my hand. You and me, la la land.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
You are still watching Why Women Roundtable Conversation powered by Knorr. I still have my powerful women on the round table, and it's time for the next dish on our menu. Chef Emeka, we're ready.
I hope you enjoyed this.
Of course we did.
Yes, we did.
Thank you.
Next, I have some pasta with
my
prawns.
Can never go wrong with pasta.
You certainly cannot. So, very simple pasta. Very simple pasta. Obviously, naturally tasty ingredients. So simple pasta, black pepper, salt, some nice fresh tomatoes, some basil. Just very simple pasta.
Don't forget the Knorr.
Never forget the Knorr. So just some Knorr seasoning in there, just to give it, a little bit of a punch. So hope you enjoy this one.
Nice.
Looks like I will.
All right, ladies,
Thank
enjoy.
you.
Thank you. Just praying for my white stuff.
Tomatoes are really tasty.
Yeah.
Add some to the chef. This tastes amazing.
Taste of black pepper.
Yeah,
Everything flavors so nice.
naturally tasting. Oh, I feel free to eat. Love it. It's a yes,
Love.
yes.
Big yes. Big yes.
Awesome. And moving back into the powerful conversation. So how important is, mentorship and representation for even the younger women out there that is looking at you people at these positions right here today, and they don't even have access to you. But thanks to this show, they have access to you for a few minutes today.
It's so ironic that I have been mentored by quite a few strong women. And even in Wimbies, a member of the board was one of my first mentors when I was in NYSC. Then I attended, I had just finished NYSC. And I just attended the first Wimbies conference 20 years ago.
Wow.
And I think a year or two later, she mentored me. Then we were in the same industry. That was Mrs. Yewande Zacchaeus. But you see, as at that time in Abuja, I was also into events. But it's so ironic that now we sit at board meetings together. And that is what mentorship can do.
Yes.
In fact, I had the first female, I think, finance manager of the Central Bank of Nigeria was also another mentor. And we sat on an executive council together. So from mentoring to bringing you to the boardroom is fantastic. So I have really benefited from mentoring, but even our organization, I've seen it. We're mentoring women to serve on boards. We're mentoring young girls to be in politics. We're mentoring entrepreneurs now, you know, just trying to get entrepreneurs. And we have so many success stories. I mean, everybody knows the Tara and Mrs. Awoshika and all that. So it actually does make a significant difference in the growth of individuals. I know some people don't have good mentoring stories, but I can tell you that I have been a beneficiary of mentoring, and it works excellently well, because your mentors don't just mentor you for a period. They also help to open doors, connect you, and ensure that you are lifted.
Definitely. That's one thing I'm actually holding on to. I think I always run from it at times. I don't know if it's because I'm shy. I'm just like, this woman is shy. Oh, no. I promise, no. I mean, like, having these different cameras, or when they turn off this camera, and I go back to And, you know, on a final note, I just want us to share some of the exciting things about being in the corporate sector. I know it's challenging, but I know that there are some rewarding moments where you just look at everything and you smile and you're like, I'm just so happy with where my life is right now. So very quickly, in a minute, everybody would share something that's most exciting for them about being in the corporate world. I'll start with you.
I was already looking at her. I was hoping she would start with you, actually.
I think for me, it is the learning, because you are surrounded by a strong network of individuals. And I'll use, since I'm in the current role of WIMBIZ, I have women that serve in so many sectors and industries. And most of them are either at senior level, board level, and, well, we have mid and those at entry level. It's the learning. You know, when you have women at the table, and the way WIMBIZ is structured, all our programs run with committees, and the committees are changed every year. It means that you get to organize things with women from diverse backgrounds every year. So, you know, when people say women don't work well together, I am a living witness, because I've sat on so many tables like this where I have seen women. You know, people always say WIMBIZ programs are excellent. It is because it is women that bring in that excellence. Everybody contributes, and we come out with something as beautiful as this dish.
I love that. Thank you.
Okay. It's a really interesting question, because I left paid employment in 2019, and it was a very scary time. I had a 1-year-old. I had done 8 years in corporate. I was used to getting a salary, and then I was supposed to now leave it, and I had taken the decision to leave it, and I was obviously not going to earn as much as I was earning when I was there, because it was a family business. As long as it has lasted, it is still, you know, a smaller organization. And then I got there, and I can tell you that in the last, this is my 3rd year, I can't explain the amount of fulfillment, the exposure. I wouldn't be sitting here. I was just some staff of some company just doing her job somewhere. But the fact that I took that step, I feel like I am now realizing my dreams. And I could have stayed, and this is not to say anybody should go and quit their 9 to 5. No, I didn't send you a message. What I'm saying is that sometimes your spirit will just tell you when it is time to make a change. And I am glad I listened to it. I can confidently say I'm a woman in ed tech, because I've set up an online school that people around the world buy our courses and study and learn, and we're expanding, and so many opportunities are in the horizon, and it's just, it's beautiful to see. It almost makes me want to cry.
Well, for me, it's kind of similar, but the thing is, we keep learning every day, and the learnings that I had in the 14 years or so being in the corporate world that I've taken to education today, oh my goodness, when I see how I'm able to transform schools, I'm able to transform lives of children just because of things that I've learned while in the corporate world. It's so amazing. I mean, it just shows me that 14 years weren't a waste.
No, never
you know, seriously. And so it's, for me, that is the fulfillment, to be able to take what I've learned, to teach others, and be able to create something out of nothing.
Well, for me, I think it's an opportunity to celebrate a lot of wins. And that's because, like she mentioned, it's actually, you have a lot of qualified people around you. You have a lot of experienced people around you. So it challenges you continuously.
Yes.
I did an LLM in international finance at Harvard in 2011. I finished that, and then I'm doing an MBA at INSEAD. And it's just because I look around and I see competition.
Inspiration and
Nigerians we have about 8 to 10 Nigerians, which is like probably the largest, single country that you can find in that class. It's amazing. We read a lot. So if there's one thing I would say makes me feel fulfilled, is just seeing what I've achieved, seeing what I've been able to overcome, obstacles that I've overcome, challenges I've overcome. It's all this, sexist remarks, all this. I look back, I'm able to talk about it now and smile, So that on its own is a form of success. It's something that makes me happy, brings joy, makes me feel fulfilled, And then seeing that if they bring out my curriculum, my CV, it's the same thing with any guy's CV, if not better. Right? Also, I have home management skills that I need to add on there. So, it's just, I'm a chef as well. Right? I can add that too. So conflicts management, all those. So that is what makes me feel really, really fulfilled in all of it. That's what I feel like I've achieved thinking about it.
Thank you very much. I think you all deserve a round of applause. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. I mean, I've been inspired today, and I'm ready to go and fire.
So, now you have 4 mentors now. 4 mentors.
Exactly. So I'm not going to run away by the special grace of God. Better still, I'm going to learn from your well of knowledge. And to every woman watching this, when the going gets tough and your dreams seem almost impossible. Remember these women I had here with me today. I mean, 20 years back, they were striving to get to where they are today, but they're a living testimony that it is possible. And if you can do it, you can do it, and we all can do it. Thank you very much for watching. It's been Why Women Roundtable Conversation for International Women's Month, powered by Knorr. And the last thing we do on the show is to present to you a gift box, courtesy Knorr. Are we happy?
Yes! Should I pick this one on behalf of all of them?
No, we don't want to stress you. We'll get somebody to get it for you and take it, but I just wanted to present it to you on the show. It's a token to say thank you. There are gift items there. So thank you, and thank you once again for coming.
Thanks for having us.
I'll see you next week on another episode of Why Women Roundtable Conversation for International Women's Month. I'm Tomike Adeoye. Bye.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Now I think that I must have a crush on you. I hope that you feel it too. There are dozens waiting for, so take my hand. You and me in la la land.
It's the natural ingredients and rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.